New Earth realized together we are creating the change. A plan for creating and implementing Earth as it is in heaven, called New Earth Realized, a divine idea in the mind of God. Preface. For over 2 millennia, there has been an expectation of the potential and reality of a new Earth being realized. This concept has permeated all great religions in one form or another. Over the course of years, humankind has mostly materialized what doesn't work for the good of all. History records numerous shortfalls in spite of many worthy efforts. In modern times, trillions of dollars have been invested by governments, non-governmental organizations, and a multitude of worthy causes, all aiming to make the world a better place. Additionally, thousands of books have been written, all citing how to improve your life, how to make the world a better place, how to control any who oppose and suppress. Each author claims theirs is the best way. Thousands of tests, cultural programs, shifts in the way we do things, all have been imagined, debated. The list of the successes, improvements, and downright failures is endless. Nevertheless, the search for the utopian life continues in the hope of finding the perfect model. So you might ask yourself, so what makes this solution different? What makes us think that what is given here will bring forth a new beginning, a new Earth realized that solves the world's problems, hunger, war, and the vast indifferences between the humanities, cultures, and families of man throughout the world? The difference is a few framed concepts. 1. Intention is everything, infinite, 100%. 2. The model must be grounded in an all-encompassing love, embracing perfection as its goal, understanding that it is an ongoing process. 3. We can be healed through this process that finds the source of the fear and returns us to love. For eons, humankind has operated in the framework of survival. We have lived with the idea that you need first survive at all costs. In this way, living life has long been rooted in avoiding death, and it is from this foundation that every civilization has been built. This is why tribe fights tribe. The mentality has always been, first and foremost, about the tribe's survival. So as a result, the 3 core systems of all societies, the education system, health and healing system, financial and banking systems, have been anchored in and propagate one intention: extend life, survive. So fear of death becomes the first cause, the subconscious driver, motivation, and motive of life. It is this fear-based mentality that needs changing if a new Earth is to be realized. For it is this mentality or attitude that has created an animalistic survival, instinctive mindset that is primarily driven by the fear of death. Like a hypnotic spell, it has been passed from one generation to the next, always seeking to win, even if the result is at the peril of another. Most do not realize this, much less give any thought to why it is this way. Why? It is simply because fear is seen and perceived as a weakness, where acknowledging it makes us even more vulnerable to our enemy. So we deny it and have become masters of its denial. For most, it operates completely hidden and deeply suppressed in the subconscious mind. It is this ancient discomfort, this ancient hatred, the feeling of hesitance that comes when embracing our neighbors. These fears of survival are born in every family, every culture, and pursued at every level of education. The us versus them mentality forms so that the tribes, in all their forms, can feed themselves. This includes learning how to best protect our bodies, to defend ourselves at all costs, which in modern times includes the vast systems of healthcare and wellness. What few have realized is that this mentality, as animalistic as it may be, is the core motivating force of all humankind's behavior. The very foundation of all civilization has been rooted in fear, and fear is the root cause of all humanity's problems. And any fear is a step away from love. When fear is removed, all that is left is love. And it is through love that a new earth will be realized. Fear, by its very nature, polarizes our loving nature. We know what is right, but fear stops us. It paralyzes the movement towards that which is natural. In fact, it's supernatural, love. Yet it is us and our experience of fear which gives it power. Thus, New Earth Realized is a new framework, a new foundation from which we will enter a new life. It is based on an understanding and emotional intelligence which teaches us from within. While fear appears to be the opposite of love, what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. Civilization has unfolded and molded us as if there are two primal forces at work, two polarized ways of thinking, fear or love. We've made this contradiction real because we co-created it. And if we can co-create from fear, what miracles can we co-create when we come from love? New Earth Realized. So these two opposing forces are not something happening on the outside of us, but rather within us. Each is like an emotional, internal, intelligent operating system that has long been passed from one generation to the next. Most of humanity is not even aware of these forces other than from a day-to-day experience that drives behavior. Few realize that civilization itself and every system throughout is founded in the core belief that life is lived just because it is. Most people feel little personal power, much less any ability to change anything on a global scale. So the behaviors of survival continue to dominate and be the daily goal. And in this littleness, we've grown comfortable in our discomfort. So though unspoken in most circles, these subconscious primal forces operate in full swing. So if we're operating from fear, then having friends is all about survival. Education is all about surviving. Healthcare is about survival. Global leadership is about survival. Banking and finance are about survival. Investments are about survival. And last but not least, religion is about survival. If not in this lifetime, then in the eternal hereafter. When we step back into a deeper introspection and ask ourselves, what if there was no fear? What would change? How would it change, and what difference would it make? How would our attitude towards the human potential change? And what would our daily goals be? Simply put, it would change everything. Life as we know it would be transformed into a utopia few have imagined. It would become perfection, not defined as an end result, but rather it would become our journey. Greed would disappear, hate dissipate, and the demands of the past would be stopped in their tracks. The polarized infighting to who's right and who's wrong would come to an end. Why? Because there is nothing to defend. This is the very nature of the primal force of love. When we are moving under its motivation, its natural intelligence shows us what is most appropriate in every situation. Change comes with compassion and understanding. Old structures are not thrown out without regard to the people who are just surviving. New ways are created in love, so that the transition from the old, the fear, to the new mindset will be gentle and loving, and thus never demanding. We then begin by embracing a new framework where love is the all-encompassing key, the force, the intelligence, to realizing a practical way to free ourselves from the mandates of complacency found in the mere survival mentality. So it is a new framework of principled living that takes us from the old to the new. Unprincipled, we remain stuck in our contradictions where defensive instincts continue their age-old dramas, where we remain polarized in our defense of old structures. And while we must always honor the old so that there is never a need to defend, we must be mindful that it is the old structure that contains the traditions and culture that harbor and cause us to defend our old ways of being. And it is these subconscious beliefs that maintain and keep us stuck in our fears. Love knows it is this fact that the new must account for, or simply create more fear. It knows it must be honoring, for honor is simply another expression of love. So, in utter simplicity, the New Earth realized is all about moving, changing, being, rewriting civilization's primal motivational foundation from that of fear to that of love. It is all about declaring for ourselves and the world over a new conscious way of being, claiming our birthright, our inheritance, our divine right as children of love. So it all happens naturally as we remove the foundation of fear in every core system common to every country, every family, and every individual. And it is this movement from an animalistic mentality of survival living to a new state of fearlessness where a new earth is realized. While it is, in fact, simple, it will not be easy. Humanity has been herded like sheep by the primal forces of fear for as long as history has been recorded. Its mindset is suspicious by its very nature, and to some, any change is downright threatening. Yet, with the right loving support and gentle understanding, a change to love will win. The question is not will it happen, but when. Because we know the deeper truth from within, love is what we are and our true intelligence within. Beneath the blocks of fear is life realized. Where we see life as love, we see it is all-encompassing. In the all-encompassing, we realize fear is not real. Here, love's meaning is realized. Herein, peace is found and the earth is healed. All that is needed is your support for implementation. New Earth realized, together we are creating the change. Table of contents. Preface, page 2. Introduction, page 7. Executive summary, page 10. Vision and mission, page 10. Plan summarized, page 10. Implementing the new framework, page 11. Budget, page 15. The promise of change, page 19. Afterward, page 20. New Earth realized, together we are creating the change. Introduction. A New Earth realized is a global project that aims to change the very nature of civilization on Earth. The projected timetable for it to take root for every country throughout the planet is 10 years, followed by another 10 years of it being globally realized, thus becoming a positive part of every culture throughout the world. It is a new framework of purpose for all of humanity that is easily and naturally compatible with cultures and traditions, with few exceptions. Its simplicity lies in the fact that it is simply a change in perception. Once its foundation is laid and demonstrated, the aha will ring into the conscious awareness of all humanity around the world. The first 5 years of the plan is where we address implementation and demonstration. The second 5 years is the intercultural adoption globally. This second phase is where everyone sees clearly where we are going, based in tangible demonstrations and documentation, and where hope peaks at a planetary level. Every step of the way is planned to be practical, manageable, and without disruption to all the loving efforts already in action. Careers invested in the systems of old must be provided alternatives that are more engaging, more loving, and fulfilling in daily life and family life. So everyone must be engaged. Collaboration is the expression of love, which has a fundamental mandate. Everyone will win, no one will lose, and no one will be left behind. Let us expound on this deeper. Fundamental to any true loving expression is that there are not polarities. Polarized mentalities find need to defend by their very nature. They defend my turf, my bank account, my way of being, and my right way to do it. When we act from our primal force of love intelligence within, we know there is nothing to defend. For we know in truth, this primal force of love is all-encompassing. In truth, it is the only thing going on throughout the world. It is the one force that we can rest assured will answer our every question. And it is the same loving force that powers the sun and the billions of suns in the Milky Way galaxy, the same intelligence that powers all of the other billion galaxies like the one we live in now. Love truly realized is intelligence. So simply put, we cannot polarize love, for it is the only thing that is true. We can only imagine it has an opposite, and then believe in its plausibility. And yet, as everyone already knows within them, that love is life. It is the force that beats the heart, that activated our life through the seed of life, that became you and me, and continues in the creation of what's most dear to all of us, family. Without love, life stops. Through love, life becomes limitless. So the foundation of our new earth realized is in certainty love. Choosing to make love the only day-to-day experience all humanity feels is the only path to realizing the promise of a new earth. This is the win we speak of for all. It is the experience that is the birthright of every adult, every child that lives. This, in our heart of hearts, we know as we close our eyes and go to sleep each night. It is the only thing that is certain and the only thing that is real. When we embrace love in our every action, we will open our eyes to a new earth realized. New Earth realized, together we are creating the change. The plan. The plan, outlined on the following pages, was written in an executive business format. This is done intentionally. As a result, many details of the plan will come together during the implementation. In other words, we are providing 20% of the details, which in essence is similar to the process of building a home. The other 80% is provided as the framework is implemented at a local level. This framework includes the foundation and indicates where all the walls will be erected. The details or the inner structure of the home are how the rooms are to be laid out. Where the kitchen is, the bathrooms, paint colors, floor coverings, etc. This is done intentionally because it allows for the local cultural adaptation that is sensitive to the needs of the individuals. Thoughts to keep in mind as you read over the plan are, all that was provided here are plans given to us by God, thus are reflective of principles involving love's perfect movement. While all that is provided has not been tested on a grand implementation scale, each change is modeled after various programs and ideas of success, reflective of common sense and practical understanding of human needs, no matter the culture. So global implementation is possible because of them being simple, simply love in expression. Thus, what is described is grounded in basics, flexible and adaptable at all local levels. It is more about what to do and not how to do it, which is why our guidance is always reminding us to move in a framework without structure. Such framework provides for cultural and traditional sensitivities on local structures so that implementation and daily operations truly reflects love's expression on a local level. This methodology ensures rapid adoption in just a few years versus generational morphing into a new reality over 100+ years. This plan provides for transformational change versus evolutionary change. As a transformational model, we intend on changing the hearts of man, knowing that the bottom line, the mind always follows the heart. If you are reading this, we are hopeful you are ready to step out with us. You are the difference, and we need your help to make this happen. We are hopeful you are willing to invest in the biggest project ever conceived for the greater good of every man, woman, and child. We are hopeful you are ready to become an agent of change, to help us move from concept into action, participation, and collaboration. We are hopeful you see just how serious and brilliant this plan is we've been given, and can only be the work of love. May we together embrace this ancient love hidden deep within all humankind. The love that, when expressed, shows us our true humanity. New Earth realized, together we are creating the change. Executive summary. The vision of a new earth realized is an idea in the mind of God. Thus, we might all say, it is His idea that we heed to reveal. For it is nothing more than a reflection of His perfect love. It is this perfect love that we seek to reveal, to gift all of humanity, the kingdom family living by and through the love of God. The vision, dancing in the reality of our hearts, is a vision told of long ago. It was a way of being, of living, where every soul of the human race would one day live in perfect harmony. No longer living separate and apart. This is the fulfillment of consciousness written on every heart, for it was given to each and all as a birthright. It is an endowment that was passed from generation to generation, sealed and hidden from conscious sight. At the right moment in time, where there appears to be great strife, it would be revealed. Perfect harmony is now being given for it to be revealed. God is seen as love, real and ever-present, living now, and the power of love fully realized. The mission. Our mission is to show and prove through tangible demonstration the irrefutable evidence of the presence of love where the laws of God are always prevailing. We will accomplish this by the willingness and courage to release all fear, allow the presence of love to be self-evident and fully realized. We allow the work of love to do the work. This is our mission. A new earth realized. The plan summarized. Implementing the plans for a new earth realized is one of shifting the framework of man's mentality from a fear-based survival foundation to that of a foundation built in love. The process of implementation, grounded in love, must be gentle, loving, and understanding of all human needs. Everyone has the right to question. Everyone has the right to participate, to declare their wishes and seek fulfillment of their wishes. Honoring each one's path and the lead of their heart is a natural, loving part of the process. The plan is one that aims to change the hearts, knowing that the mind will follow the heart. Simple in concept, the plan will demonstrate and show evidence of success. Through these efforts, we will prove that change is safe, secure, and in everyone's greatest interests. The plan begins by educating others of the practical nature of the process of shifting from an old paradigm foundation of fear to love. It teaches what love looks like and provides experiential tangibility so that confidence in its implementation can be real for every community. This educational process will be done through multiple multimedia outlets, including websites, videos, print, feature films, and educational meetings held all around the world. Additionally, New Earth Realized will seek to collaborate with people and parties of like minds who are willing to join the vision and be part of working the mission. Teaching others about living in the moment is a critical part of the plan, for it is here, through in the now, that the new ways, the new earth, will be realized. God has already provided us with ways, the means, and the clarity needed. Its implementation only needs our willingness to release our blocks to love's awareness, which are only those perceptions found in our memories and future imaginings. Why? Because both the past and the future thoughts of man are tainted or programmed with man's limited perception of going it alone without God. These tainted attitudes or perceptions have created for us the world as we now experience it, a world where dualities create the belief that fear is real, whereas in God's mind, it is not real and simply a belief in lack and limitation that is passed from one generation to the next. The reasoning for this is sometimes little understood. Fear cannot be real in the mind of God, the mind of an all-encompassing love. Yet, this all-encompassing love is found only in the moment where God's love is. And here, in the little gap between memory and future imaginings, there can be no fear, for love is all-encompassing, infinite, omnipresent, omnipotent, everything always, eternally, forevermore. Living in this new but natural state of mind is how a new world will be realized. Demonstrating this truth is then the cornerstone of the New Earth Realized educational framework. It consists of simple ways of moving people out of their past and into the moment. It demonstrates the power of love moving in every moment, when it is untainted by our past memories or future imaginings. All of which, by ego default, our choice is telling God, we want to continue to do it our way. Implementing the new framework on Earth. Given by our inner guidance, there are 5 systems of humanity that touch in various ways every soul. Each one of these greatly influences attitudes and beliefs of every single human being, defining for us what is normal. We readily adopted, mutually agreeing to these definitions, assuming the love of our Creator could be lacking and limited. Each of these systems has been the core programmers or communicating influencers of all the minds of humankind. Changing these is central to a new earth being realized. These belief systems are made up of the following expressions. 1. Educational systems, New Earth definition. The purpose of education shifts from survival to talent discovery. Currently, the survival mentality, driven by fear, is the predominant force in the global education. While communication is central to its past, its dominant focus has always been so you could get a job. The New Earth system of education focuses on seeking and finding their avocation or calling in life. So the difference from vocation or a job, avocation is all about helping everyone find what they love doing. This we call talent discovery, because in God's eyes, everyone is talented and an expression of love. So for 12 years, this has been researched and developed and is now ready for mass implementation. This system addresses the two dimensions or needs of education. The first is reframing the purpose of K through 12 primary education. This system will roll out as a program called Talent Discovery Education, providing students and teachers with 7 principles of guidance for discovering their natural talents and learning the ways to master them. The second program, what will be called the Jedi Malls, Job Exposure Talent Training Institutes. These malls will house from 100 to 150 trade schools, all supported by businesses who are interested in hiring the students. The idea here is simple and has been tested. Students, both young and old, will have the opportunity to shop for a trade or avocation, take an assessment, and learn how to discover their own inner passions. So the key here is to shift from a 2 to 4 year school to a 3 to 6 month training, highly focused on specific talent development needed throughout the business sectors. 2. Health and healings, New Earth definitions. The New Earth expression of health and healing is happening right now in the mind of God. Here, we define God as the loving intelligence behind all the forces of creation. This understanding shifts the focus from that of defending against death to that of embracing eternal life, the natural birthright of all humankind. This will clearly provide the impetus to seek the truth of eternal life now. Clearly, death will be seen as optional. As love's energetic of loving intelligence presents its quantum leap of consciousness, it will be more than capable of washing away old biology mindsets with eternal life made real. For over 30 years now, a process has been studied and developed, anchored in the manuscript called A Course in Miracles. This course teaches and has demonstrated around the world that through love, the healing process of the body is superbly natural. This is the miracle. And during the last 6 years, a supplemental lab class has been in development and is now available to all who wish to tangibly experience miracles for themselves and share in this amazing truth with others. The lab class, called Perfection Healing, teaches through experiential healing that miracles, the movement of love, can be embraced through the release of man's defenses of the body, which are all some form of fear. This process of perfection healing, along with other free complementary modalities, will provide the means for humankind to completely overcome sickness and disease. This lab class work is soon to be made available through packaging called God's Healthcare Plan. This plan will be made available for businesses so their employee teams can embrace the movement of love in ways where miracles will become a commonplace experience. The industries that are in full swing supporting health and healing, drug companies and the like, will be afforded opportunities to become teachers and coaches of this process. In addition, new methodologies will be pioneered in love, meaning within 20 years, health and healing will be totally revolutionized. 3. New Earth definitions for finance and banking. Humankind now realizes its greatest good is found in extending love. Money is but one expression for making easy its flow. In the New Earth realized consciousness, financial systems are transformed into investments in love's quantum field of understanding. This, combined with investments in new green technology and ultimately free energy, the stage will be set to move completely beyond the need of survival. Since the beginning, banking and investments have served humankind in many positive ways. However, as the Industrial Revolution unfolded, fear, or control, became its driving undercurrent of purpose And through our mutual agreements, money became the predominant key to survival in the minds of humanity. It became yet another polarity of fear, supported by cliches such as a necessary evil or the root of all evil, something we need to avoid, death at all costs. The truth is, money, or currency, was created to serve humankind in the convenience of trade, as a form of making the flow of bartering easily available to everyone. Making trade fluid for the benefit of all is why it is still felt to be the currency in the global river of trade. Thus, it is not money that is the problem, but rather the fear that was born into it by a few fearful men. This ultimately made money and wealth all but synonymous with survivability. So what made this fear-based belief in the industry of banking and finance, cloaked in the form of prosperity, a reality? Fear did. In A New Earth realized prosperity is the natural movement of love, so this is good and very good. So our task is releasing it, love, from being polarized by fear, which fuels the greed in forms of grandiosity and control, unhealthy indeed. Ultimately, in Our New Earth realized, a new heaven on earth like banking system will emerge where a global credit union type organization will be created and owned by all of the people. This benefit for all the people is the natural way of unity. In this framework, the control of money will be owned by no one and run collectively by the people. Profits from loans and services will be paid back to all of the people. So in essence, monthly stipends will become the means for everyone getting what's needed to accommodate their basic living expenses. Thus, no one goes without. All basic needs are simply accommodated for as a basic, loving default of everyone's birthright. In many ways, these reforms are now underway, and our plan is to simply bring them full circle for the benefit of all. 4. Leadership, political, and community. The New Earth Realized brings a new awareness into the minds of leaders. And this will be anchored in new understanding, a new declaration of consciousness, a new unity of mind where humankind begins to see clearly the need to move past the petty fears and animalistic mentality they now hold dear. As the evidence of implementation is revealed, leaders will come to realize that the systems of control are limiting, suffocating the talents and inspirations of love that move naturally through our children and society as a whole. Thus, movement will become a calibration versus manipulation and control. The wolf pack mentalities, us against them, will begin to fade away into the abyss of nothingness from which they came. 5. New Earth religious, spiritual illuminations. As the focus of finding the natural intelligence of love becomes a forever inner journey, with talent discovery and new health and healing leading the way, religions of the old simply fade away, for love is allowed to have its full sway. The 12 tribes of humankind release their sense of separation, knowing clearly now that it never was, and eternal service to the God force of love will have become the focus, and all its joy, peace, and happiness will have become the core value and aim all religions serve. So love and all its awesomeness will quickly become the commonplace, and religious working will be service work on behalf of the living God in this moment. Past traditions and cultures that judge will simply fade away. Eternal life will begin in the moment, and life, love, God will all be seen as synonymous. Here, separation will have ended. All will begin to see, sense, and experience we are all one. These 5 systems of change are all it takes to embrace a new earth realized. As alluded to in the latter 3 of these reviewed, The first two, education and health and healing, will be the drivers of transformation, as they touch most all of humanity personally. The reasoning for this premise is simple. Education and health each involves the daily business of needs of a family. Transform these to serve the highest good of the family, and global transformation comes naturally. These transformed family values and tribal influences will then be taken to the streets, to work, to leadership, and ultimately into becoming religious influences. At our core, we are moms and dads, brothers and sisters, a son, a daughter. It all starts around the kitchen table, with family and friends in the comfort and security of home. We are now hopeful that you are beginning to see with us the beauty of the vision that was given, the greater plan, and our true potential of our prayers being answered. For in truth, we must see together that we are the answer. May we allow it and embrace it collectively, to be fully energized in love and be guided from within each step of the way. New Earth Realize, together we are creating the change. The budget as so given from guidance. The budget given for accomplishing our mission is $5 billion, $1 billion for each of the 5 systems being transformed. The breakdown given through guidance are degrees of or areas of investment in each system targeted for transformation. The movement of love finances this mission, and through love, all actions will be taken. Each area of investment fosters the movement needed for globalization of our mission, for a gentle and loving transition from the old to the new being realized. The budgetary framework of implementation breaks down into the following 5 areas. Education multimedia investment. The movement into a New Earth Realized requires our fellow man to mutually agree to change direction and choices in their daily lives. This change, if not understood and consciously embraced, engenders the old fear, which is exactly what we are choosing to move away from. This clarity comes through the education of the whole, emphasizing the need for embracing our emotional intelligence found only in love within. Once humankind understands the dynamic from which it's been operating and clearly knows and connects with the truth already within them, the collaboration needed in adopting the new will be natural. Resistance will naturally melt away, for the clarity of the choice for love is made clear. All this boils down to is providing insight and clarity through a variety of media and bringing forth the collective effort of like-minded leadership the world over. It all starts with a plan that all the people can see and understand as practical, loving and considerate of everyone's needs, providing first for the family, and then gently extend its influence to the greater communities. The primary intent at the bottom line is preventing what might be called the buggy whip syndrome. This syndrome is real and the primary challenge of the New Earth Realized plan of implementation. Its denial circumvents success and all but ensures failure, as it circumvents the movement of change by stifling it. It is a syndrome of man's ego, a fear-based mentality, which interprets change as a threat to the family's survival. If not mindfully considered in every step of implementation, and not prevented from the very beginning, consideration of change will be met with blinding resistance. The clearer reasoning for why we call man's fear of survival mentality the buggy whip syndrome is easily seen in the buggy whip industry's story. This story has been repeating itself forever throughout time. Anytime change occurs or innovation happens in the world, it shows us a very clear example of how fear of change can easily have such insane resistance, and to help us see how it cleverly has ensured itself being passed off from one generation to the next. Back on October 1st, 1908, there was a breakout of this syndrome, the fear of survival in the buggy whip industry. It happened directly as a result of Ford Motor Company rolling out its first Model T horseless carriage off the assembly line. While the world celebrated with intrigue and fascination, the buggy whip manufacturing industry, as small as it was, went into total panic. From the receptionists to the shipping clerks, fear of the family's survival went to a fever pitch. Fear took them into questioning, how will they feed their families when buggy whips were no longer needed? How would they pay for their children's education? How would they buy the house they long dreamed of having? In the days and weeks to follow, they realized horseless would not be an overnight challenge to their livelihood. Nevertheless, the threat begetting fear that they felt was real to them, albeit only mistaken imagination. So through this simple story, we can now imagine why they clearly fought change, and clearly they fought it from a good reason. We see now why so many wonderful innovations and ideas die, due to this underlying syndrome or fear of survival, a syndrome most deny even exists. Is this syndrome alive today? Absolutely, and it's well financed. It is shrouded as a wolf in sheep's clothing, called lobbying, advocacy, special interests, and the primary driver of today behind all politics. Most people would deny that such a mentality causes major stagnation, but in most cases, they don't see it at the root cause. So the fear of survival is the primary motivation. It is stifling innovation at every level imaginable, from free energy to the cure for cancer. Moreover, it's this very syndrome that has polarized society, polarized leaders the world over, even the ones who claim to support a new way of being. It's the primary reason why wars persist. For how will folks feed their families if no one's buying buggy whips of defense? This syndrome alone justifies the need for education and why it is our predominant investment. Supporting local frameworks of implementation. As articulated throughout this document, New Earth Realized comes through a new framework, with love being its foundation. Structures come into formation on a local level, in the form of sensitivity to the local needs, cultures, and traditions. The 5 new framework systems in which New Earth Realized will be implemented is through teams of like-minded visionaries at the local level. It is here where vision becomes practical reality, where the new is experienced. Through these experiences of the new, the buggy whip syndrome of fear's resistance is neutralized. In many cases, much of the local structures may already be in place or beginning to be established. Our connection will simply assist in expanding this, assisting in fertilizing the soil for an enhanced outcome so that the full weight of love's empowerment is realized. So to move ahead quickly, game changers and key influences will be brought together to educate, mentor, collaborate with, ultimately providing guidance and coaching to those willing into the New Earth way of thinking. This process of investment recognizes and honors the current mass efforts of good being done throughout the local communities, from churches and multiple numbers of nonprofit agencies. Our aim is to shift everyone's foundation by removing the fear and teaching through New Earth Realized principles. Regardless of the current conditions, deploying change implementation will take on many forms. From providing funds to paint school buses with signage, talent discovery schooling, to bringing together industry for the implementation of Jedi training malls. Implementation is all about bringing forth evidence and substantiation of the new, and about building the models to bring forth our new vision and demonstrate that change is real and sustainable. It is the beginning step, the first 10 dominoes that will create the momentum and excitement the world over. So this is the demonstration and documentation of love in action, our vision in action, our mission of implementation. Facilities, administration, investment. This investment provides for administration and facilitation of projects, and investment reporting and documentation. It provides for administration of finance and accounting, project management, and transparency of communication at every level. Each will be transparent, which means each office and meeting room is easily accessed and observed from the internet. In essence, it will be a high-definition reality show of the process, where the new Earth being realized is orchestrated live and in living color. The guidance is that we have operating facilities on each of the 5 continents: Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, and South America. Each is to be run or administered by an elected board of directors and guided by a supporting advisory board of regional talents who are committed to the fulfillment of the global vision. Each center will be set up as a training facility, a means of schooling, providing a foundation of teachings for those who are moved to learn the deeper meaning and expression of love practiced and lived daily. Each will become a center for this new awareness, this all-encompassing way of being. The vision here is about practicality, not grandiosity. It is about living the message and sharing it with others. It is all-inclusive and not exclusive. It will help others release the fear of the old and embrace the love of the new. It is real and ensures that the old paradigms are prevented from tainting the new. This investment will bring about a team of visionaries who have no other agenda but to fulfill and accomplish the mission. Seeding Implementation Investment Fund. These investment funds aim to push forward the first of each system's domino train of change. They are the funds for providing the practicality of the vision and create working structures at a local level on each continent, as well as global implementation work dealing with what will be needed. Sharing the vision. Sharing the principles of this vision with others is really the heartbeat and cornerstone of empowering implementation. Love will have its way as we embrace it, extend it, and see it moving into the awareness of all. Love is the one thing we are all mutually agreed upon to give more of, and when we do, we make a statement of belief in our fellows until they believe in themselves. This is empowerment, the movement of love. This belief and the movement thereof is the cornerstone for fulfilling our mission. For it is the talent of love expressed in a myriad of positive ways that are needed, and they are already here within each one of us. The promises of change. The promises of change are fulfilled in the experience of love. Each system that is changing will demonstrate that love was always here and simply hidden from their awareness by various veils of fear. Soon, through our collective efforts, hunger will disappear and the need to survive will simply wash away in the tide of love's expressions. As people seek their passions and their avocations, crime and selfish interests will dry up. Investments in our prisons will be redirected to our schools. Innovation will become the news of focus and the wellspring of entertainment. Talent discovery will be sought beyond voice and dance. It will become the adventure of curiosity across all expressions of life. There will be full exploration of our birthright, where the Creator's love will be explored in ways never before imagined. Love will soon become a field of formal study, as its energetic intelligence is embraced and clearly recognized. Such study will change the face and focus of science forever. Love's clarity will soon become the natural way of life. Where once assumption and ambivalence caused great doubt, soon people the world over will see its wisdom and power, for they will have experienced its greater meaning in their hearts. They will have experienced that love was here all along, and the only things that blocked it from our awareness was our insistence of being in control. Work weeks will soon be enough for all to make their mark on the world, providing more time for leisure and family. Nature and all its love for humanity, will follow in the footsteps of this great change. For all who see, no other choice but to see respect moving in all living things. As humanity learns the totality of love's infinite and all-encompassing nature, we will have witnessed the experience of a planet transformed. We will have realized a new earth birthed in the mind of love, as we will see that God is love and truth. Thank you for reading this and for being the love that you are. Together we are creating the change. On behalf of the New Earth Realized implementation team, we are TAG. Two are gathered, joined as one mind in God. New Earth Realized, together we are creating the change. Afterward, from where the plan came. This plan is a divine idea in the mind of God. It is His plan, a gift given, an opportunity, a new choice for humanity. It is a movement of consciousness, the consciousness of an all-encompassing love. Through the simple, persistent willingness to know it and being curious about its implementation, it was given and received by His Son, Christos, yet written on the hearts of all His children in the form of pure inspiration, where the willingness to step into the new of God is embraced and received. We need only follow the desire of our heart, and the mind is certain to follow. Our sacred journey now comes into completion. Ask, and it is done unto you, for it is already given to anyone willing to be and receive the more that God is being. The Great Awakening is upon us. The Golden Age is in our hands to embrace and to move into, to be in the mastery and certainty of love. Budgetary planning, funding, resources for implementation. A budgetary plan was given in love and now included under separate cover and available for all to see. Everything that is needed is held in a sacred trust by the family of God found throughout humanity, given to their care in weight of humanity's readiness. Additional frameworks of guidance are available to those given to bring forth the multitude of tangible technologies, including but not limited to new education in all its forms, from grade school to new entertainment media, conscious awareness training, new health and wellness systems and centers, advanced manufacturing technologies, sustainable housing, and all forms of conscious ideas given to complete the plan's unfoldment. All this new are God's ideas, all given to complement His plan for implementation. Others will appear as well to meet the need of the moment. So we need only remain open and receptive to those things, complementary processes, and systems needed that will add harmony in a most gentle and loving way. All will unfold in a way that complements the whole of the plan's totality. Inner guidance streams continuously to those who are listening, given in those moments where most appropriate, all complementing the implementation plan of the Father, God Force, the loving intelligence of the universe. All is given without limit, for all is in the oneness of it all. To contact us or to get involved, visit www.newearthrealized.com. Phone is 704-612-9622. Peace and many blessings.